for 3 months. It gave us a chance to play with showing artwork through social media, promoting artists through the internet, having them do live streams, saying more about the art. It went back to basics. Art has art history. So behind every painting, there's an artist. We learned, I think, to sell the artist more than to sell the piece. And I think that's our new idea is what is the value in a painting? And the value in a painting is the artists themselves. And so then we moved into
I'm trying to get inside that artist's head to understand what the meaning is.
What the meaning is, what's that artist's background, how are they living, what are they doing in their communities, what has affected them. We had our first artist back, we did an all live stream show back in July, and the artist came in and
basically moved in.
He moved in. He literally moved into the space. You know, some things having that aspect of it, you never expect to have someone sleeping on your couch. And you're like, what are you doing here? And the artist goes, I was streaming until 4 a.m. and I had 30,000 people watching me for 24 hours. And I was exhausted, so I slept on your couch. And you go, this is day 3 of that, though. You need to go.
I understand 1 day, but 3 days.
3 days, but that's something that in our heads that we didn't everyone wants to be social media savvy, but when someone's trending he had 60,000 followers. It was ridiculous. And you're like, oh, this is great. But on the other hand, not. And so it was trying to adapt the business plan for that would work. And so now September was our first month back in with Mark's show. So how Mark is going to work throughout this month. He's up for 2 months. We'll do 2 openings. He'll talk right time. He'll post his piece on social media. We're collaborating with the butler. The butler's showing him as well as down here. And the whole idea is to saturate who is Mark Zowski. He is a local painter, sculptor, went to YSU, went to Ohio State, and he's an expressionist. It was trying to get, and he's a quality father. And so that was trying to get different things to the community about who he is for you to appreciate it.
Yeah, that's great.
And honestly, we should do that with every artist.
And that's a new.
Previously, there it is. What do you think of it? You like it? It doesn't work that way, especially in the art world. People have to have more connection to it. It's not just a picture that somebody likes. It has to be more.
I think some of the best times that I've had here have been on your openings where you might have a little jazz band and a few snacks and drinks. And it might be more of a social event than anything else, but it gives you a chance to relax and see the art and think about it in your own mind of what the artist was trying to portray or what he was thinking. And in many cases, the artists are here and you can sit down and talk to them about it and they can tell you what went through their mind. The guy that comes to mind is Michael Green. Which I thought was very significant. I ended up ended up winning a piece of art that night. So Steve, I know Dan's kind of you're both creative, but you're also saddled with the financial operation of the business here.
Yeah.
So during COVID-19, how do you keep expenses low? What do you do? How do you manage this in preparation for some of the entrepreneurs or will be entrepreneurs on the call? How do you go through something like this?
The biggest thing is don't take on more than you can chew. That's a rule of thumb in any business, but especially during a pandemic. So
yeah, my wife, or I will tell you that we've used the phrase, don't put 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag.
Right.
What happens to you? So.
And so when when we first started to talk about finances, how are we going to do this? We looked at a couple places, and rent was something astronomical. And if we would have had a bad month and nothing was sold the whole month, we had no advance and no income, would I have enough money in my savings to be able to cover that month? If the answer is no, then we weren't going to do it. There's no way. So step one is to make sure that whatever you're doing, you're not putting your life savings in, because if you have a pandemic that happens and changes your entire model and you can't adapt, what are you going to do? So we started at a pretty low overhead to start with. We've cut back a few things, put the thermostat a little higher. And honestly, it's been a really good time to go through all the stuff that we've had here that we don't need. It's been a good time to get rid of crap that we don't use, that, oh, well, this would be nice to have this shelf or that. No, we've never. We could really probably do good with the dumpster at this point, but we've got artwork from artists that have never picked it up since 2015. There's stuff that we can still get rid of, but it's really given us the time to pare back.
To have a garage sale.
And yeah,
it's that a little stressful for some of the artists. But I think the bigger part to this is we've done a business that, like Steve knows this, where I was definitely burnt out. Getting through this whole thing, I was definitely burnt out. And I would like to say, like, the pandemic, I'm not burnt out. And so it's like, there's enjoyment once again coming back into, starting a new business. The first 5 years is difficult. Like, that's where you're adapting to figure out, where's the income coming from.
And you probably had to regroup and change
several times. And I think now with this, it's been an opportunity to literally sit down and work at what will make it stronger, what will make it better. And, there's the fear of adapting, and there's the fear of, not being able to have more than 30 people in the space. 15.
Whatever it is.
We can still do events. We can still do small things. We had a wedding here a couple weeks ago, and actually someone saw a piece on the wall of $1,600 and said that would make a perfect wedding gift. And we said, heck yeah.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So Steve, what do you hope people say about you and your contribution to the community?
I just hope that they see that I'm genuine, that I care about the community, that I'm not out here to make a buck, that I'm here to, I want this place to succeed, obviously it has, but I'm not here to try to rip anybody off or do anything like that. I'm here to make this space relevant in the community and get more exposure for the artists, more exposure for the art community. I think we've done that the past 5 years. Just to piggyback off of what Dan said last night, refining the business over 5 years has been challenging. And I think we go through a lot of the phases that all businesses do. The first couple of years, oh, it's new, it's fresh, it's fun, it's brand new, it's exciting. People want to jump on. I want to be part of it.
Because you got to keep it fresh.
Yeah. And this has given us a chance to pare back and say, okay, you and me, how do we do this? And then who do we pick to be on this? Not, this person came off the street. This artist wants to do this, that, the other. It's being very selective in the medium now.
Daniel, what do you hope people say about you and your contribution to the community?
I kept Youngstown going with the arts, is that we helped Youngstown, even if we weren't here, Youngstown kept going with the arts, but we helped make it brighter. We helped make sure that it stayed positive. And and it's not just Youngstown, like we keep saying Mahoning Valley, Mahoning County, Warren's good, Sharon's okay, Mahoning Valley. And it's one of those things that we have a strong community, and that there's a good story there, and that I brought something to the story.
Yeah, I think that's important, and I think that's more meaning in what you contribute back to society, what you do for others. As some of you know, I've written a couple of books, and one of those books is about fulfillment, and it's called Maslow Debunked. And I think it's all about what you do for others. That's important, and that's how you're measured.